O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. CVA muzzleloaders, it's just a better gun. Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. WORX Power and Garden Tools. Toyota, let's go places. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Swaggerty Sausage, the finest premium pork sausage products. Tough Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings.
Timbuktu Outdoors, the ideal solution to live bait.
Arctic Ice, the most durable, versatile, and effective cooler packs for the outdoorsman. Terminator, the best food plot implements on Earth. And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, state parks, and historic sites.
From Black Powder headquarters in the Bojangles studio from Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia Mountains, O'Neill Outside presents CVA Radio. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Good morning, boys and girls, from the Bojangles studio high in the mountains of North Georgia. This is CVA presents O'Neill Outside. 2 hours of outdoors, no politics, no quotes about that, no reading of letters about that. It's outdoors. It's the weekend. It's time to spend some time with your family, fishing, hunting, boating, camping, hiking, whatever the case might be. And I'm here to encourage you. We have plenty to do today, and we'd love for you to give us a call at 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255 on 95.5 FM WSB and 750 AM, and the Sports Broadcast Network from Maine to Miami, from Seattle to LA. You can listen to O'Neill Outside live on Saturday morning, the number one live outdoor-based radio talk show in the country. So welcome and spend a couple of hours, and we'll encourage each other to spend some time in the outdoors this weekend. We have a lot of things to do. We have the radio prize package, and the announcement of our YouTube promo, We have the Medal of Honor, and we have a whole bunch of fishing tips today for me to give to you that I have from my fishing companions, and for you to mention for this audience. Want to give it a try? I think we should, don't you? Spend a couple of hours. We'll get you started over the weekend. And let me tell you, I think I have time for this. Let's go ahead, if I can round them up. Let's talk about our sponsors just for a moment to brand their names into the program. If there are no sponsors, there will be no show. So, sponsors are CVA Muzzleloaders, Arctic Ice, Tough Shed, Furminator, the Furminator, Timbuktu Outdoors, WORX Tools, Striplings, General Store, Snellville Heating and Air, and Rocco's. I went to Rocco's twice this week. Ooh, so good. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. We'll get to the substance of the show when I get back. What do you say? Well, good morning again from the Bojangles studio, and we're got a little engineering confusion here for a moment. It gives me the opportunity for some disgusting self-promotion, and we hope that you'll participate. Go to O'Neill Outside at YouTube. O'Neill Outside at YouTube. Subscribe to O'Neill Outside, then like or comment on the videos there. And after you do those things, you'll be in line to win or be awarded the following. 2 pair will give away Thorogood boots, Arctic ice packs, True Turn tackle packs, 10 of those. Daiichi tackle packs, Roadrunner lures, lots of them, dozens. Swaggerty's gift baskets, and you need to look on the site. Go to O'Neill Outside and you'll find out all about it. Fire extinguishers for your home. Bojangles gift cards, $50 gift cards. How about that? A Furminator, sets of digital deer scales, real tree, camo jackets and hats, Conus 10 by 42 binoculars, plain old tackle boxes, CVA muzzleloader, .50 caliber CVA muzzleloader, Timbuktu Outdoors, cloak, scent, pay dirt, attractor, and Fisher's Choice, WORX Powers tools, Georgia State Parks passes, and Big Green Egg charcoal lighters. We'll be giving all those away. All you do is go to YouTube and subscribe to O'Neill Outside. Then every time you like one of the videos, then it increases your chance. And I'm going to give a message right now to the engineering at the studio and tell them I can't hear you. So I hope you're hearing me. Karen, is it likely that they're hearing me?
It's likely they're hearing you just fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Karen, let me tell you how this works. This is interesting. I'm at what I call the Bojangles studio. It's in the basement of our little lean-to cabin here in the mountains of North Georgia. I've told you this before, but I don't really care. We send the signal over the internet to WSB radio in Atlanta. That goes to 38 states. Now that signal also goes to Karen Green's studio in Peachtree City, Georgia, then to the sports broadcast or the SB Nation radio affiliates nationwide. Cool, huh? It's all engineered that way. There's a lot of buttons to push and things of that nature. Sometimes the buttons don't get pushed. And if I get a call, when we start getting the calls, this is going to be interesting. I have 2 calls right now, and I won't be able to hear the calls, Corey, I don't think, when I bring those up. So, because I can't hear anything that's coming back from WSB. So, Nicole and Don, you're going to have to, I'll have to ask you to hold on because I don't think it's going to help for me to.
They should be able to go.
Well, I can't hear anything else from WSB, but who came up first? Let's try Nicole calling from Griffin. Nicole, are you there? Are you on the radio?
Mr. O'Neill.
Hey, there she is. Good morning.
How you doing, Mr. O'Neill?
I'm doing just fine.
I have a question about white-tailed deer. I live in the county, and they're building a lot of houses, so we wind up with all those deer eating our blueberry and everything. I mean,
Yes.
like 10 feet from the back entrance. But anyway, I was watching a female, and she had 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
And tell me if they still drink milk from the mother. How old are they?
Do they still drink from the milk from the mother? What was the last word? I couldn't quite hear you.
How old are they? A week,
Oh, how
2 weeks?
old are they?
Yeah.
It doesn't take very long, just a couple of 3 months before they'll begin to graze accordingly. They don't. Not more than 3 months will the fawn take mother from the doe. It's a very, very short period of time. They grow and mature rapidly.
So when she had the baby, is she on the ground or up?
Once she has the baby,
Is she sleeping on the ground or
Oh,
she's
yes.
standing up?
no, they all they all curl up like a dog, and the mother, the doe, will quite often hide the fawn in the tall grass or in the bushes or wherever. She will hide the fawn, but she will stay close by. She knows where he or she is, and they sleep on the ground like a dog. It's interesting that you bring that up because deer, especially the bucks, they don't sleep very much. They'll sleep maybe 30 seconds to 30 minutes at a time. Many times they sleep with their eyes open and their ears are always high and at attention. They're a very alert species of animal.
Is that unusual that she has two, or can she have more than two?
No, usually it's two. Usually that's it, they'll have twins. Sometimes it's two females, sometimes two males, but most of the time the deer, under normal circumstances, the doe will have two offspring at a time.
And you see, I have cats, okay? And one of the male cat is really wild. They were nose to nose with the deer, and the deer didn't mind at all.
Yeah, they're very curious, especially the does. They're very, very curious animals, and they're, you know, the deer recognized no threat, and they wanted to say hello, and they get to know each other by smell.
So the nose from a deer is very sensitive.
Oh,
because
yes.
He's not going for the kudzu, he's going for the flower.
Well, quite often deer will feed on the flowers. If you have flowers close to the home, that happens quite often. They will make a meal out of the flowers and other forage there around your home.
So what kind of food do they eat?
Well, they usually just graze on grass, but their number one food is acorns. After the acorns fall in the fall of the year, they'll walk over anything else to get to acorns. But they feed. It's a grazing animal. They don't eat meat or anything of that nature. But yeah, they're a grazing animal like a cow.
So
Prairie animal.
The deer and the moose, they're not too far apart, isn't it?
The deer and the moose?
Yes.
Well, they're all of the same family, yes.
Because we have moose in Canada, 2,000 pounds, Mr. O'Neill.
Yes, he's the largest of them all. Of antlered animals, he is the biggest, the moose.
So how many babies do they have?
Well, they'll have two also.
Okay.
They'll have two also. Well, good luck with your deer. Enjoy watching them.
Yes, I took a pair of binoculars, and that's what I did for half an hour.
Oh, yeah, they're very interesting. They're a very gentle animal. And the ones around your house have become domesticated. They're not fearful of you. They look at your place as a great place to get a meal or to have flowers to eat or whatever the case might be, and they don't feel threatened. It's a neighborhood deer. Good luck to you. I'm glad you called.
Mr. O'Neill, enjoy your day.
Thank you very much. You too. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. We need to take a break, and we'll come back with more calls, I promise. And then I have some tips. Welcome back. This is O'Neill, and we're talking outdoors for the next couple of hours. I hope you'll stick around and participate in the program. 404-872-0750 in the Atlanta area, and across the country at 800-972-8255. That's 800-972-8255. I've got some important boating tips to give you, but because he's been holding on quite a while, we're going to go ahead and chat this morning with Don. And Don is calling, not surprisingly, from
Ocean Isle, North Carolina.
How are you, my good friend, and how's the fishing?
I am just great. The fishing has been a little slow this year because of hard to stay 6 feet away from each other in a 25-foot boat, you know. But we've enjoyed what's here, and this too shall pass.
Yeah, yes, it will.
I don't remember. I don't know if you remember. About 10 or 12 years ago, one of the hurricanes brought about 40 ringneck doves in here.
Oh, I remember that.
They're still here, and they have intermingled with the local doves.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when they first got here, they all stayed in the flock, but now they're all mixed in with the others, and now the local doves are as big as they are, which the ringneck's about over twice the size of a local dove.
Yeah, about like a pigeon.
And now we have some dark gray doves that are as large as the ringneck.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Interesting
and,
that you.
and I guess there's, I don't know now, there must be, hard to say, but I would say there's probably a couple of hundred of the ringnecks here that they have bred too. So
I see. Do you see any difference in the pattern of how they live, how they fly, how they flock up, or anything of that nature?
the ringnecks are still very skittish. The
I
local
see.
doves, you feed them and you walk out the door and they say, "Oh, there's the old man that brings us feed," But the ringnecks will leave. And the birds of prey, they love the ringneck better than the local one because there's more food there, So.
Yeah, a bigger target. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting,
bigger
Don.
target, yes,
That's good. And
the lady that had the deer problem,
okay.
when I was a kid hunting up North Georgia, we didn't have any deer, but we have a lot of them over here. And then two of the flowers took a beating because the deer love to munch on them. But I made me a corn feeder fed by gravity, and I keep that thing full of corn. And the deer will come in and they'll eat that corn as long as they get full, and then they go somewhere else to munch, and they eat other people's flowers other than mine.
There you go.
So,
Give them a choice.
You give them a choice, and once they finish on corn, they have to go somewhere else to find some dessert. So.
Oh yeah. Well, let's face it. All they do is have baby deer and eat and sleep.
And I think I heard you say one time that if you have two deer within 5 or 7 years, there'll be 35 as a result of their
Yes.
breeding.
Yes.
And we do have a bunch around here, and they're fun to watch. I enjoy watching them and watching them their habits, but like you say, they're not the ones you see in the woods because these here are pretty tame too. So.
Oh yeah. Household deer, neighborhood deer.
Neighborhood deer, yeah,
You betcha.
it's yep.
All right, Don, I'm glad you called.
I know y'all been through some times with this pandemic, but
oh, yeah.
We'll get over that, and we'll be back like we were next year.
Well, let me just mention this, and I won't get into the details of it, but think about what we witness now that gets us down, this pandemic stuff, and think about June 1941. There's no comparison.
I was just a baby in those days. I was about at the end of that war, but I do remember that, and I do remember the despair that all my family went through during that period of time, and what the turmoil was going on in Europe. So,
one more thing.
Thank the Lord, we saved that bunch over there too. So.
Oh yeah, you bet. All right, one more thing, kind of put things in perspective, okay? And that is this. Before I get to the next call, and that is this: in World War II, 80 million people died. Put that in perspective. Wow. Have a great weekend, Don.
Thank you. Enjoy your show, and love you and Gil.
See you later, pal.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. All right. Now I have statements to make. All right? Keep this in mind throughout the summertime and whenever you go to the lake. This is an absolute fact. Boat gas and alcohol do not mix. They never have, and they never will. It doesn't work for you. That's why at Lake Lanier and these big reservoirs all over the country, people die every year. Usually because someone driving a boat is drunk and they are impaired. Okay. Now, it's summertime. 31 minutes after the hour. It's summertime. It's time to change the way you fish for spotted bass, for largemouth. It's time for you to change. Fish are off the bank. Fish are out in deep water. What do? Fish from the bank. Oh, well, not quite. But you're in your boat, pontoon boat, center console, bass boat, whatever the case might be, on these big reservoirs all over the country, you'll catch more bass, you'll get more bites if you pull your boat to the bank and cast out into deep water. I guarantee you, if you're in deep water casting to the bank, most of the time the fish are under the boat. And you do not get to present your bait, your lure, to those fish that are under the boat. I would tell you, I'm guessing here, that in these clear water lakes in northern Alabama and throughout the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Georgia, I guarantee you the largemouth bass is in probably 30 feet of water now, in the trees, in the brush, in the stump fields. And if you're sitting in 30 feet of water casting to the bank, the likelihood is that he never sees your bait. Fish right off the side. Okay. And when you do that, I got plenty of tips today. And when you do that, be sure that the shadow of your boat doesn't go sit over the brush pile. Let's talk to Wayne. Call him from WORX. Good morning, Wayne. You're on the air.
Oh, Neil, how you doing?
Outstanding.
How's Gail doing?
Fine enough. You bet. She's asleep right now.
Yeah, I bet. Old friend. Go back a long way. Go back to Southwest DeKalb.
Oh, my goodness.
But I went to Jonesboro.
Okay.
And I married one of Gail's friends.
Oh, yeah?
And I wanted to... I've been trying to call y'all. You still live in Snellville?
No, we moved away from Snellville about 6 years ago. We live in the mountains here in North Georgia.
You still have a phone listed through the information.
Well, there you go. You know.
And I've been calling that number, and they said the mailbox is full. And I said, well, I don't know how I get in touch with him right here on the show.
Well, there you are.
I've been listening to you several years, and I don't hunt anymore. I went blind, and I don't even drive anymore.
I see.
So with no eyesight, it's not good.
Good idea.
A good idea. And but tell Gail that you talked to me. Oh, you remember the Fisherama?
I do.
I used to work at the Fisherama with the Wildlife Federation.
There you go.
And that's
I remember you.
I met you, and I was one of the volunteers up there with the wildlife, and you always had a booth up there. Mm-hmm. I wish they'd bring that show back, and the Buckarama, too. They had the Buckarama and the Fisherama.
That's right. It'll be a while, but maybe somebody will rekindle that.
I know it's a good event. It was a good event, and brought in a lot of people. But tell Gail you talked to me, and she remembered me, I know, Wayne Fielder.
Yes, sir.
And I still live in Rex. And
right, I've got your number right here written on a piece of paper on my desk.
I called in last week and left my number for you to call me because I didn't want to talk to you on the show. But I guess I'm gonna have to, But it's good to talk to you.
Well, I'm glad you called. I really am.
Sure am. Tell her to call me anytime.
I got your number right here, sir.
Thank you, O'Neill.
Good luck to you, Wayne.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that's good. That's a great call from an old friend. Yeah, the Buckarama, the Fisherama, those were great events. I don't really know what happened to them, but things change. What's that old saying? The only thing that's not going to change is the fact that we're always going to change. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255, and I'll notify my engineers at WSB that upon our return from this break, we will have the radio prize package. So put your brain in gear, and maybe you can win something by being in touch with O'Neill Outside on CVA Radio. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back, everyone. 40 minutes after the hour. I've got one little tip that if I don't give it to you, I'll forget, and then we'll have the radio prize package, and that's this. Many, many, many years ago, when I used to tournament bass fish in the late 70s and early 80s, there was a fabulous tournament angler by the name of Junior Collis. He was one of the guys. He fished in the first Bassmasters Classic. He fished tournaments every weekend. He was a fabulous angler. And I was in a tournament I wasn't in the same boat, with Junior, and I was at Lake Sinclair, and I traveled around through the area where he was, coincidentally, and when I went under a certain bridge, I would see Junior kind of waiting, kind of like off to the side waiting. And I didn't know what he was doing. Maybe he didn't feel good. So after the tournament was over and he beat me again, I said, what's with this bridge thing you got? He said, during the summertime, around bridges and other structure where the largemouth bass and the bait gang up, and all they have to do is rise and lower in the water column when it's time to feed. When a boat goes under the bridge, it stirs up the water, it knocks the bait fish away from the pilings or the concrete, and sometimes it'll cause a little activity to begin. He told me, O'Neill, every time you went under that bridge, I caught 2 before it quit. Then I would wait for the next boat to go under the bridge. It's a good fishing tip. Okay, now it's time for the radio prize package. Here are the rules. You have to be 18 years old and not ever having won a radio prize package before. The first correct answer to 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255 will win the radio prize package. The radio prize package consists of Bojangles gift card, a coupon for Swaggerty's sausage to use in the grocery store, a Realtree hat and decal, a Big Green Egg koozie kit, an Angler magazine, DNR Regs magazine, Georgia State Parks guide, a can of Fisher's Choice baits, a selection of True Turn tackle, an Arctic Ice travel pack, a Moonface clock forecaster, that's important, and a Hydro Shot glass. And the question is, every week I tell you the name of the studio from which we broadcast here in the mountains. What is it that I call this studio? It's a simple answer. Okay, 43 after the hour. I have more tips. Let me see if I've got a call. No? I have more tips for you. Ah, boy, this is unbelievable. Okay, I had a friend years ago. He's deceased now. He got sick and died. His name was Gary Moore, and he was an outstanding angler. And he told me, and he showed me, that if you will telephone or go on the internet and order some live crawfish, you can get them shipped to you live. Then you use light line, a very thin shanked hook, thin light wire hook, and just a little BB split shot, maybe 6 or 8 pound test line only. And you fish that live crawfish around the docks in the summertime. I guarantee you will get a bite for every single crawfish that you have. You buy 4 dozen crawfish, they're small, like 2-3 inches long. For every crawfish you have that you put on a hook and put up underneath a dock, you're going to get a bite. Every single one. Give it a try. It's been years since I did it. When I did it with Gary, a long, long, long time ago, we caught 40 largemouth bass, and we released them off, largemouth in spots. It really will work. crawfish. And you can get them by going online and ordering them, usually from somewhere in Louisiana. And if something happens and you don't get to go fishing with those crawfish, you can cook them and eat them. So there you are. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Okay? Book of the week. Here's your book. My recommendation. The Empire of the Summer Moon. The Empire of the Summer Moon. By the author is S.C. Gwynn. And it's the story of the Comanche Indians out in the West. It's a very interesting story. You remember, no calls for the people not, oh, yeah, there they are. Okay. Colleen wins. We have the answer. You remember the story in a movie called The Searchers, in which the daughter of the family was kidnapped by the Indians and was raised by the Indians. Now, that's a true story. And the last chief of the Comanche Indians that never did sign a treaty, the last chief of the Comanches was a half-breed Indian, and his mother was that person, that young lady that was stolen during a raid. The Empire of the Summer Moon. A fabulous, fabulous book. Okay, we have our winner right now, and I'm going to ask the question again, then I'll see if I can scoop us up an answer. What is the name of the studio from which we air O'Neill Outside, or CVA Presents, or CVA Radio? I get all my sponsors mixed up, but that's a good one. And let's see if we can round us up an answer. And let's talk to Colleen from Marietta. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning, sweetheart. It is the Bojangles Studio.
The Bojangles Studio. Good place for biscuits and chicken.
You made it easy this week.
Oh, I know. I like to make them easy if I can, but only if they're only easy if you listen to the show.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true, and I do.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for your participation, and in a couple of weeks you'll get a box of goodies, and I hope you get to use them. Use those Bojangles gift cards.
Oh, yeah. We've just started taking the grandkids fishing. They're 7 and 3, so yeah, we'll have a ball.
Well, good. Those you'll get a can of Fisher's Choice baits in the radio prize package.
That's what I heard.
Yes, indeed. You can use those crickets and shrimp and all that for the children when they go fishing.
Right. We got some kayaks now, so yeah, we can get out there and get real quiet.
You betcha. Excellent choice.
All right.
Thank you for your participation.
Sweetheart. You too, darling. It was good talking to you.
You bet. We'll see you soon. There you are. How about that? 48 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. All right? Another tip for your summertime fishing. Ready? Gosh, I want you to know that I don't invent these things. This is stuff that I've learned from someone else. There's rarely anything new, okay? But I learned this. I went trout fishing years ago. I could see the trout, which you can often in shallow streams. I hardly got a bite at all. And what's the trouble? I don't understand. Until I left the stream. Dumb O'Neill. I fished that day for trout in those super clear waters of a mountain stream, not locally. I was out west, okay? I fished with a light blue shirt on and a white cowboy hat. Think that was a mistake? 2 days later, I went back to the same stream, and I wore camo. And I caught the heck out of them. Don't wear bright colors. The blue shirt wasn't so bad, but that white cowboy hat was really stupid. Wear camo. when you're trout fishing, you'll get more bites. And I want you to know, too, that every time we talk of things of this nature, these tips that I've learned from other people that I pass along during the show, I didn't invent these things. I learned these things by going fishing, usually with someone else, someone better fisherman, someone more seasoned fisherman, someone who's tried these things. And if you do these things, you're not suddenly going to catch 50 instead of 2, but you might catch 4 or 5 instead of 2. It'll make you just a little bit better fisherman, okay? Last tip before I go to the next break about summertime fishing. If you're up to it, and you're a fisherman of these major reservoirs across the South and up the East Coast, these clear water reservoirs, okay? Be safe, but fish at night. The fish, the bass, the spots, the stripers, they're crappie even. They're all much more active and accessible. See, that's the key. They are accessible at night. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. You're listening to CVA Radio and O'Neill Outside every Saturday morning, coast to coast, on the SB Nation and AM 750 and 95.5 WSB Radio. And it won't be long. We will have our 30th anniversary on radio. Isn't that something? Gail and I were chatting last night after supper. I was kind of getting ready for the show. And, you know, it's routine now. You know, the show's routine after 30 years. And we were reminiscing about the start of the radio show. And we used to drive to WSB. We'd get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. We'd sleep a couple of hours, get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and drive all the way downtown to WSB, do the show, and then drive back up here into the mountains. And we'd get back 7:30 in the morning. Get up at 1, get home back at 7:30. But it's been engineered by our hyper smart Houston, and we don't have to do that anymore. But we were reminiscing last night and thinking, this has become routine, this has become acceptable, it has become commonplace that we do a radio show from up here in the mountains, nationwide and worldwide, about outdoors. And it's the #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show likely in the world, and we think nothing of it. And we hope you enjoy it. Time for a break. We'll be back. Yeah, okay, we're about to finish up the first hour, and it's a great opportunity now to chat with Mark. He's calling from Camden County, and he always has some great tips and some great adventures to pass along. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, old friend. How you doing today?
Good. Where are you headed today?
We got one of our 5 days to fish for red snappers today.
So boy.
Yep. I'm pulling 7,500 pounds of boat and trailer to the marina, and seems like everybody's pets and deer all want to run out in front of me today. It'll get your attention when you got 3.5 tons hooked up to your truck.
Yeah, I understand. So
now past one right now.
how is the red snapper population there where you fish?
We are absolutely infested with them. You can picture the American red snapper as an oversized saltwater piranha.
Right.
And once they get populated like we have them now, they start wiping out everything else. So I would encourage everyone within earshot to come down and please thin out some of these 15 to 30-pound red snappers. They're eating everything.
Let me ask you, what's the limit now?
1 per person, and we only get 5 days a year to fish for them.
Well, that's reestablished the population, hasn't it?
I've been offshore fishing for over 5 decades now, and it's never. I don't understand why we only get 5 days, because the reciprocation of the population right now is they're starting to wipe out everything else.
I see. Oh, of course they will.
And yeah, when you try to drop baits for other species, all you catch is reds. And I can't even hardly go cobia fishing anymore. This past cobia season, I went through like 24, 25 red snappers to get at one cobia.
Oh, interesting, isn't it? This management of fisheries and wildlife.
Yeah, I've been talking with our DNR to get, because our DNR doesn't have anything to do with it. It's the feds, and to start pleading with them to maybe start letting the state take over management of our groundfish stocks out here, because I know Georgia would do a lot better job than the feds.
Historically, I would certainly agree with you on that subject. Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. We have an outstanding DNR, and I would be much happier if somehow or another our southeastern coastline states would, kind of negotiate with the feds to start managing our own groundfish stocks out here. We'd be a lot better off. But anybody wants to catch red snappers right now, next weekend, you can get with Captain Noble, your buddy. And
I got to go, pal. I'm up against the clock. You have a great day, okay?
Yes, sir. You too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We'll be back.
O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. CVA muzzleloaders, it's just a better gun. Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. WORX Power and Garden Tools. Toyota, let's go places. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Swaggerty Sausage, the finest premium pork sausage products. Tough Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Arctic Ice, the most durable, versatile, and effective cooler packs for the outdoorsman. Terminator, the best food plot implements on Earth. And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, state parks, and historic sites.
From Black Powder headquarters in the Bojangles studio from Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, O'Neill Outside presents CVA Radio. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Good morning, boys and girls, from the Bojangles studio high in the mountains of North Georgia. O'Neill Outside presents, no, I got that backwards. CVA presents O'Neill Outside. I do that on purpose. I'm sorry. I'm ahead of myself. It's 6 minutes after the hour. This is O'Neill, and we've got another hour of outdoors. No politics, no complaints, no reviews, nothing on Facebook or anything else in the news for us to discuss. It's outdoors. It's the weekend. It's time to enjoy some time with your family, fishing, camping, hiking, hunting, whatever the case might be. You can hunt hogs. You can hunt without a rifle or a shotgun. Just go to the woods and listen. And you'll be amazed that the woods are just full of attractive, interesting animals and places. And if you'll just close your mouth and listen, they will forget that you're there, and they will come out. Okay, I may be off on my timing, but what the heck? I want to emphasize, as I did during the first half of the show, that boat gas and alcohol do not mix. Don't do that. You'll make it a safer weekend. Right now, I hope she's still on the line. Uh-oh, did I lose Virginia? Oh, I'm sorry, Virginia. I had to go through the news and I lost you. Please call back if you can. I'd love to entertain your question. The telephone numbers are 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255 across the country on the SB Nation Radio Network from Maine to Miami to Seattle to LA and everything in between, and WSB 95.5 FM WSB and 750 AM, and that signal covers about 38 states. So we'll welcome your calls and hope you enjoy the diversion into the outdoors to set the stage for the weekend so that you can enjoy it in a different way instead of sitting in front of the television and watching the news programs. It's my opinion, we do that entirely too much. We'll be back in a few minutes, seconds really, and we'll talk about the outdoors. I'll be back. 12 after the hour, you're listening to CVA Radio, and welcome back to the program. Let's chat now with Kay. She's calling from Decula. What a great name for a little town in Georgia, Decula. Good morning.
Oh, it is. I've been here almost 17 years.
Oh, boy.
And I like it.
You've seen lots of change there.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't it the truth?
I had some worthless information to share with you.
Please. I handle it very well.
I thought you might like to know that you and Gail and I have all got something in common.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
We were all born the same year.
No kidding. There was a bunch of folks born that year, I think.
What's that?
I said there was a bunch of folks born that year. We are...
It was the best year.
Well, it was, what do you call it? The baby boomer generation.
No, war babies.
Well, war babies, yeah.
Yeah, 43, right?
My father, he was a fighter pilot in the Army Air Corps, and I was born in 1943, like you, and he died when I was 6 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a little bit, you and I and Gail are a little bit on the front end of the war babies. You know, the war babies usually came in at about 45, 46, 47 after the war. But you're right, and I'm glad.
Well, I mean, it was in the middle of it.
Yeah,
that's what I was counting.
Right,
but the funny part about mine, though, I was born on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, my goodness. You ruined the festivities.
I'm telling you, I was a baby turkey, and I stayed that way.
You were the
I'm
chosen
the last
one.
Of 6.
Pardon?
I'm the last of 6.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Boy, that's a big family.
Yeah, and all of us well, it was 5 girls and a boy, and our brother passed away last September. But it's been a fun life. I've had a hard life. I can't drive. I never have been able to drive. I don't have sight to drive. But I've had a good life, and I'm having to live alone now. But that's okay. It's just the way God intended it. But I have fun listening to you. I want to let you know that Swaggerty's is definitely the best sausage.
Oh, isn't it the truth? It's so.
And I want to eventually get to go to Strickland's. That's got to be a fun place.
Absolutely. You when you go to Stripling's there in Bogart, it's like visiting a neighbor.
Oh,
it's not going to a grocery store. I mean, it's very personal.
Yeah.
Very personal, and take a cooler with you. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Take a cooler so that when you buy all this meat and seasoned burgers and all of this stuff, then you can put it in the cooler and keep it cold before you get home.
Yeah, you just make me hungry right now. I'm thinking about breakfast. I've been awake since 4 o'clock. So.
There you go. Oh, you have? Okay. And you're right about stripling sausage. People, you don't realize what sausage really is supposed to be until you have some Swaggerty's.
Yeah.
I've been to their plant in Kodak, Tennessee.
Oh.
And the closest image I can give to you as to the plant and the operation is that it looks like and acts like and feels like you're in a hospital.
Oh, man.
Everything is so clean, and everything is stainless steel. It is just beautiful.
Well, that's good to know. That makes it even better.
Yes, it is. Even better. Clean as a pin.
I just need to do a commercial for them.
You bet. Glad you called, Kay. I'm sorry. You got to remember, I don't sleep very much.
Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
We will do that too. There you are. And he's been holding on the longest. Let's talk to John in New York. Well, how's it going in the Catskill Mountains, sir? Uh-oh, I didn't ring this up correctly. There you are. There's John. How are you, John?
Yeah. Greetings from the Catskill Mountains, yes.
Yes, indeed.
It's funny you're talking to the woman there about baby boomers. my twin brother from Florida is up visiting right now. We're baby boomers. And little story his mother tells us he was born first. I came out second 5 minutes later, but he came out with a black eye.
Oh. That's
I don't remember anything about the event, but anyhow.
There you are.
True story. But now, I talked to Scott Maxim about advancements and firearms and other outdoor equipment. Can you speak about advancements in fishing equipment over the years?
Well, the biggest single advancement in fishing tackle overall to me was the development of and the finished product, which is braided line, because of its small diameter, but it maintains its strength. Otherwise, quality rods and reels are quality rods and reels. The rods also now, because of the materials that they're used to make, carbon and so on, they are super sensitive. And you can connect those two changes because, see, braided line doesn't stretch. Monofilament line does stretch. In the water, it gets softer. Braided line does not. So if you get used to using braided line with a small mono leader, you'll feel more fish and feel more bites. Those are the big changes, I think.
Yeah, because that's the one thing our family lacks is knowledge. We're just on the bare basics on the fishing. We got our training wheels on, basically, on the fishing aspect here. Yeah, so we're always wanting to learn. Now, up here in the Catskills, the chicory plant is blooming out. Chicory grows along the roadside. It's poor soil and stuff. Now, you could dig the root of that and make coffee. I've actually made a whole pot of coffee out of chicory root. And actually, I mentioned to a lady years ago, and she said, "Oh yeah, we used to use chicory roots to stretch our coffee during the Depression years."
Yes.
And now I guess it's almost like an exotic coffee now. You could buy coffee that has chicory added into it and such, But that's one of the many wild edible type of things in the woods. And
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm going to try and find some. I'm going to order some on the internet. I'll bet that really is good. Because I have had coffee with chicory before, but I don't remember what it tastes like, and it's been years and years.
Right, yeah, it's been years since I actually made, like I said, a whole pot of it, just chicory roots and stuff.
Oh, good for you.
O'Neill, I got a follow-up. I sent you a picture of skunk, and I guess you got it. I was following the skunk around.
No, I didn't see that.
I guess it was. Yeah, and but anyhow, it went down the hole. I tracked it, I kept following it, and it went down the woodchuck hole for a day. Shook all the rainwater off it and went down. So I waited for it to come out, took some pictures of it, and followed around, and it's been hanging around here. And I thought it was a male skunk, but no, it's got 4 young ones.
Oh, I see. Well, they're not what you would call a speedy animal.
No, but it's been an interesting study and photo op here, and they don't just go around wanting to spray people and stuff.
Certainly
they
not.
Run away when it's. I never had any problems with them over the years.
Yeah, that's a defensive mechanism. But I will tell you this, John. Ready?
Yeah.
I've been on the air now for 30 years, and this is the only call I've ever gotten about a skunk.
Yeah.
So you are singular in your telephone subject. You are indeed. I got to go, pal. Have a great weekend.
Sure.
You bet.
Yes, you all take care.
You bet. I'll see you soon. This is O'Neill, 21 after the hour, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Bentley, Richard, and everybody in Black, all you guys hold on. This is O'Neill, and I'll be back. 25 after the hour. Welcome back. We've got a lot of calls. We want to get to every one of them if we can. Let's see who's been holding on the longest. I believe it's going to be Black. And what do you say, Black? Did you get your book and hat?
I sure have not, old Neil, and I've been trying to get that book ever since you and Gail went on vacation. I tell you, I just don't know what I'm going to do with y'all.
We're not very reliable, are we?
Yeah, you're reliable, old Neil. I love you. Old Neil, question.
Go.
How long has it been since I met you at the, not the Phillips Arena, but ever what that's called? You know, I come back, I had to go way back in the hallway to meet you.
Yep.
Kissed you on top of the head.
Yeah, I remember that.
How long has that been, old Neil?
I don't know. I don't think I want to recall.
Listen, I got a little story right quick to tell you about my snake.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, my hen wasn't laying. I got turkeys and hens.
Uh-huh.
So I put 2 golf balls in the nest, and lo and behold, my granddaughter was here from Pensacola College. I went out there to check my nest, and he was coiled up in a little ball, I guess about 6 inches in circumference.
Uh-huh.
He had swallowed both of them golf balls, and I finally got him out, and my daughter videoed him. I guess it was cruel, but I didn't mean to kill the snake.
Well, it wasn't
So
up to him.
That's the story, old Neil, but I hadn't gotten my hat. I told the man to just send me a hat and a book, and I'd pay you for the hat.
Okay.
So when did you send it, old Neil?
I don't know. I don't do that, but
Oh,
somebody
you don't?
else does. But you haven't gotten the hat or the book. Is that right?
No, sir. No, sir. And I just turned 81 the 19th of June.
I got to hurry then.
Okay, hurry, old Neil. I know you got a lot of folks to talk to.
Well, I'm going to put you back on hold and get your address again.
Okay, that's
All right.
fine.
Thank you, Black.
Thank you,
I'm going to
sir.
put you back on hold, pal.
All righty.
There you go. All right, here, let's see who's up next. Up next is Bentley is there. Good morning, Bentley, calling from Pine Log. What do you say?
Good morning, and go Dogs.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Good to talk to you again, O'Neill.
You bet. Glad you called.
I got some news. It's heading down to hunting camp.
Okay.
I know people aren't probably thinking much about deer hunting, but it's probably one of the best times, too.
Yes.
I have got 40 bags of corn and about 200 pounds of sunflower seeds.
Uh-huh.
And now, to my opinion, is one of the best times to be feeding deer. Because
you got to do it now. You got to get them started your way now.
Well, where I'm coming from, O'Neill, is about 30 days ago and 30 days after this, that's when the majority, all of the fawns in the state of Georgia will be born.
Correct.
And if you're attracting those mamas with the babies, they're going to set up a mindset that that's a place to go get food. And, of course, a good portion of those fawns are females.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is you're setting the stage for years to come to be pulling the females for your males.
Absolutely. Deer hunting is year-round.
And I put my cameras out now and see how the horn development is going, too.
Good. Yeah, because the last month or the last 6 weeks before the season begins, you stay away from down there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything needs to be done now.
Cameras tell it all.
You bet. Stay away from down there. When it gets 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month before the season starts, stay away from that place. Already have everything done. Then you're walking around in the woods and putting in food plots and building stands and changing cameras and all that kind of stuff. The last 4 weeks before the season begins is a mistake.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
The other thing I'll share is if you're not using watering areas, meaning drums or buckets or something like that, and you're not using minerals this time of year, it's kind of like not putting sunflower seeds into your feed. You're just not getting all the ball when you hit it.
Your call was a good lesson for the audience this morning, and I thank you for it.
It's good to talk to you always, O'Neill.
You
and go
bet.
Dogs.
See you soon, I hope. There we go. Now let's talk to Richard, calling from West Virginia on CVA Radio. Good morning, Richard.
What, CVA Radio?
Yeah, man, we changed the name at the beginning of the third quarter. Actually, it's O'Neill Outside presents CVA Radio.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a sponsor. It's a sponsor
I thought it was
thing.
SB Nation.
Well, no, that's the network of affiliates. CVA Radio is just the name of the show.
You have my permission to do that.
Okay, thank you very much.
When it comes to, I wanted to ask about having a barb inside the fish. I just wanted to ask you this. A couple of weeks ago, I heard you talk about you were accosted by a thug, and therefore you got a gun to protect yourself.
Yes.
And I've had 4 or 5 people threaten to kill me. I never did get a gun, but it's just like, okay, if I guess it's just something I just never would get because I'd probably end up shooting myself.
Not if you're safe, you won't.
What?
Not if you're safe, you won't shoot yourself. In my judgment, it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it.
Okay, I've had it where people actually threatened, they really threatened to kill me, and I don't know, I've just never gotten one, so
okay.
I'm still living. So, like, I don't want to ask this, something I've thought about and never did ask it. Well, you catch, I guess there's different types of species of fish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about mostly a trout because they're more fragile. Does it hurt anything to leave? Now, I've heard there's some kind of acid they have in their stomach. If you leave the hook in there, that it will dissolve. Is it true? The hook will dissolve inside the fish. You don't have to pull it out.
You'll injure the fish more greatly if you try to extract the hook, if it's deep inside or in the gills. If the gills are bleeding from the hook's presence there, that fish will die. He will not recover from that. But if he swallows the hook and then you leave it in there, he has a chance. I know I have caught largemouth bass before that had a hook in their throat and that looked like it had been there for quite some time. So at least he has a chance. So that's what but you got to remember, most bass fishermen return their fish to the lake. And if you mash the barb down and make your hook barbless, you can remove the hook from around the mouth of the fish much easier without as much injury.
Oh, okay, then you get a barbless hook then.
Flatten the barb. The barb is on the hook to keep live bait on the hook, not to keep your fish on the hook. I don't think so. Glad you called, Richard. It's always a pleasure. And I think Richard's gone. Okay, it's 34 after the hour. I think I've got time for this. Let's talk to JP. Is on O'Neill Outside. Well, you're on the radio. You made it.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. O'Neill?
Good, good.
I just want to tell you a quick story. I love your show. I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but I love learning about it.
Thank you.
And you're just awesome. But anyway, your son off, when you're too busy, kind of came to kick me in the rear end at one point. My brother lived in Monroe, and every time I would be taking him to the doctor in Athens. He just passed away about a year ago. We'd pass by striplings. Of course, I did not know that was striplings.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I did not have to, he said, we need to go in there, that store. He didn't know the name of it, couldn't remember the name of it. And I just could kick myself in the rear end for not experiencing that with him. I did not realize that was striplings every time we were going by there to the doctor going to Athens.
Well, now you can.
So I was too busy.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, now you can. You can make a special trip to Striplings. I know I go there. It's 2 hours for me to get there, and it's worthwhile.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to do it. I just, in his honor, of course I will. He was a DeKalb County police officer, Forsyth County Sheriff's officer. And he almost made 8.
Oh, boy.
But he's a good man, my big brother.
I appreciate your call and the reminder about that, and that you're a loyal listener. I really do appreciate that.
All the time.
Have a great weekend, sir. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside in CVA Radio, and we'll be back. 40 minutes after the hour, you're listening to O'Neill Outside, 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. Let's talk now to Wade. He's been calling here and for a while. Good morning, Wade.
O'Neill.
You made it.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
I'm sorry I missed you last week. I was a bit occupied.
Well,
I'm going to be right down the road from him about another hour.
Oh, boy. You traveling now?
No, I'm waiting on Greg. He's headed from Winder. I'm in Buford.
Uh-huh.
You know where I'm going?
Where you going?
King Creek, Etowah River, Lupton Park, 29, watershed lake number 29.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told you about 2 weeks ago I was going to plant my corn and my watermelons and my pumpkins.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got that done.
Ah, good for you.
My buddy Greg and my buddy Billy up there on Coach Ride property, right down the road from me.
Right down the road, not far. Not from the Etowah.
Well,
I know where the road crosses it.
Well, you know where Hurricane Creek's at?
Yes.
It runs into the lake.
Yes, it does.
Well, we got 2 acres planted, and the camper's looking good.
Uh-huh.
Got to set my stove up so I can be warm this winter.
That's one of my favorite dishes is watermelon.
Them deer stomp them and eat them. I bet I don't get 2 out of the whole 40 plants I planted.
You're feeding the deer, huh?
Now, you said that, I didn't.
That's what you're doing, you rascal.
Hey, listen, I gotta get a shout out to the DNR.
Okay.
Let's see, not this Wednesday, but last Wednesday, my fishing buddy Greg lives on Winder.
Mm-hmm.
I done got him hooked, O'Neill. Talk about paying a kid fishing. He's 2 years older than me. He's worse than a kid.
Oh. Well, he's missed some opportunities, but I'm sure he'll have a good partner today.
He's fishing. I'm working on my deer and my turkey.
I understand.
We can take the paddle boat down and get a good workout in.
You betcha.
I've been having my buddy CJ, Chris Johnson.
Uh-huh.
His daddy and my dad graduated together. Me and him are about, I think I'm 2 years older than him.
Uh-huh.
But his company is North Georgia Maintenance. We were working at the Christian Academy over in Common, redoing the bathrooms. I mean, I tear them out from the floor to bottom.
Yep.
And new tile, putting in new partitions between the toilets and urinals. And up and down, up and down, up and down. And I've been painting and caulking. And
boy, that stuff wears me out now. I'm sure you're a craftsman.
My father was a painter, and don't tell him I ain't painting on new, but I'm the best there is at it.
I bet you are. Well, look, have a great weekend, Wade. I got to go, pal.
Hey, listen, I mailed you those Kentucky Guide things Friday.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday. And I want to give a shout out Papa Gary. And I found my wallet. I left my wallet at the camper, so I got my Rocco's card. Oh. Maybe I'll see you at Rocco's Monday night.
I hope so. I go there so often, I see a lot of the same folks. I'll see you soon.
Wednesday, when they put them trout in the river,
uh-huh.
I call my limit in about 20 minutes. Down here below the dam.
I understand. I got to go, pal.
Sorry I missed you last week.
All right.
I was predisposed.
You bet. We'll see you soon, I hope. I always enjoy hearing from Wade. He always gives me the rundown as to what's going on. Right now, it's 44 minutes after the hour, and we're getting now to the most difficult, but yet the most important part of O'Neill Outside, the Medal of Honor.
Honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
Captain Benjamin Solomon. He was a medic, a surgeon, U.S. Army, He was in the Marianas Islands, July 1944. The regiment's 1st and 2nd battalions were attacked by an overwhelming force estimated between 3,000 and 5,000 Japanese soldiers. The enemy soon penetrated the battalion's perimeter and inflicted overwhelming casualties. In the first minutes of the attack, approximately 30 wounded soldiers walked, crawled, or were carried into Captain Solomon's aid station, and the small tent soon filled with wounded men. As the perimeter began to be overrun, the captain saw a Japanese soldier bayoneting one of the wounded soldiers out lying near the tent. Firing from a squatting position, Captain Solomon quickly killed that enemy soldier. Then, as he turned his attention back to the wounded, 4 more Japanese soldiers appeared in the front entrance of the tent. Ben killed those 4 as 4 more crawled under the tent walls elsewhere. Rushing them now, Captain Solomon then shot and killed those 4. Realizing the gravity of the situation before him, Captain Solomon ordered the wounded to make their way as best they could back to the regimental aid station, while he attempted to hold off the enemy until they made their retreat and were clear. Captain Solomon then rushed out of the tent, manned a machine gun, and took control. When his body was found, 98 dead enemy soldiers were piled in front of his position. Captain Solomon's extraordinary heroism and devotion to duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Captain Solomon, surgeon and medic, died that day, July 1944. That is a hero. 547, and you can, I would encourage you, a couple of things. I would encourage you to visit o'neilloutside.com, my website. And on that page, you will see the Medal of Honor insignia. Click on it. It will take you to the Medal of Honor website where you can read the descriptions of all the soldiers, men and women, that have been awarded the Medal of Honor over the last almost 2 centuries, since the Civil War, since the Indian Wars. It's emotional reading, and I recommend it that you consider those people, those men and women, as heroes instead of possibly the rock and sports stars that most of us assign hero worship. All right, secondly, if you'll visit O'Neill Outside at that time, we have referred multiple times in today's program, and we always do, about my book called, appropriately, O'Neill Outside. 65 years in the outdoors, people and places along the way. You can order it on Amazon, or you can order it off the website. And if you do order it off the website, then I will sign it for you. Now, this afternoon, I'm going to visit Appalachian Gun in Jasper, Georgia. I'll be there at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And we will inspect, and I will offer the descriptions necessary for all of the fish and wildlife mounts that I have on display there at Appalachian Gun in Jasper, Georgia. I'll be there at 2 o'clock. several of those pieces have sold, and I'm going to be there today to give them to the people who have made those purchases. And if you'd like to stop by, talk fishing and hunting, say hello, I'd love to be there and welcome you. Appalachian Gun, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Okay, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. So let's see, I had another tip here. Okay, like Wade called a few minutes ago about a friend of his that is new to fishing. I think that's what he said. That may be your case, and I'm going to give you a tip that can work for you, whether it be a medium-sized lake, a gigantic reservoir, no matter what. If you are unfamiliar with the waters, unfamiliar with the lake, or not familiar with the lake, then I suggest you maybe give this a try. Go up the river. Motor up the river. Whatever major river it is or major creek that feeds the lake. Find stained water. Find current. Believe me now. For instance, at Lake Lanier, I can guarantee you that the largemouth bass that are in the Chattahoochee River up above Lula Bridge, that's way up the lake, they do not know that there's a lake down there that they might want to visit. They live their lives in that river. And when you go there, it's not likely that there'll be other fishermen there, and you can have as your target bass or game fish that are in shallow water, stained water, where you can present dark colored baits and heavier line, and you'll get more bites than you will searching out down the lake in 37,000 acres looking for fish to catch. It's just a thought. If you're not familiar with the lake, go up the river. It will help you. It's 52 and a half after the hour. This is O'Neill Outside. Every Saturday morning, 4 to 6 a.m., right here on 95.5 FM and 750 AM, WSB, and the sports broadcast radio affiliates all over the country. And I don't think an apology is in order, but you're going to have to forgive me sometimes when I cannot deliver the Medal of Honor description without stumbling. Okay? I foster a great appreciation for those heroes. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside and CVA Radio. And we'll wind this up when we get back. Stay right there. We'll wind up this morning's program with CVA Radio with a brief chat with Ricky calling from Athens, Georgia. Good morning, Ricky. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, O'Neill, and go Dogs.
Yes.
I just wanted to say how much I've really enjoyed reading your book. Oh, man.
Well, thank you.
It's really a treasure, and I know it's based on your memories and your experiences, but the thing I really like about it is it takes the reader back in their childhood, back in their time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting a little emotional, but it's because of what you said about our heroes.
Yes.
And I feel the same way, and I'm going to get a hold of myself. I'll just pretend I got a 10-pound bass on the line, so I'll just calm down a little bit. Because we're always calm when we got a 10-pound bass on the line.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It's exciting. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you getting the book, and I'm flattered that you enjoyed it so much. It's not an epic But maybe there's some good stories in there about fishing and hunting and the people and places I met along the way.
Well, I especially enjoyed what you shared about your grandfathers.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
If I could go fishing with my granddaddy one more time, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I understand, and I feel the same way. When I fished with my grandfather in the mountains of North Georgia, we used a cane pole and black nylon line, and I caught grasshoppers. And that's what we used for bait. And it was 4 miles to the lake or the stream. And I'm so glad that you read the book and that you enjoyed it, Ricky. And I'll, in the next few months, I'll have another one out pretty soon, and I hope you're able to purchase it and enjoy that one also.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
You
and got a lot of work between now and July 15th. I think I mentioned to you, I do taxes for a living. And our business is booming right now.
Hey,
but,
all right.
I'm going to make some time to take those grandkids fishing again, because I know that that's the secret to never going hungry.
All right. Ricky, I got to go, pal. I'm up against a hard break. You call me back next week, if you will. It's 59 after the hour. This is O'Neill with CVA Radio, and I'll leave you with this. If you're too busy to go fishing and take a child along, you're too busy. I'll see you guys next week.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, "I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to O'Neill Outside on my radio." O'Neill, O'Neill, O'Neill Outside.